So we'll go ahead and get started. And welcome. I'm glad that everyone's here. As Robert kind of forecasted, we were going to have Lori Duggar talk a little bit about um, how, financial certainty in uncertain times, and talking about a little bit what you could do with the stimulus that might help plan for the certainty of the future. But um, she had a family emergency with her father, and we all send good thoughts her way. And so I'll talk a little bit about some of the things that we're doing, and then we'll share at the end, for learning. But in the meantime, as we introduce ourselves, just like Kate was saying, I think that the phases of the last 6 weeks or 8 weeks, if you will, have been incredibly amazing, because in life we don't generally move through phases so quickly. But everything we've done has had this different kind of emotional awareness hanging over what's going on. And I'm working with another client, and we pivoted on something to respond to what was happening in the beginning of April, and it's invalid now because it's changed. So the tenor of fear of the unknown, of the uncertain, has calmed down a little bit. And even though there's mixed reviews that we listen to, if you listen to the news or read online or whatever about opening, the fact that we are reopening has sort of opened this window to hope and to planning again. And it's really made me appreciate the value of planning, and the value of planning in a sense that it creates anticipation and hope. So as we introduce ourselves today, I'd like you to just sort of address, what are you planning for? What are you doing? And where's your hope directing you to in the next couple of weeks? Because I think that's going to carry us from, instead of a new normal, which would indicate that you closed off the old, but instead an evolution of normal, and where we're planning and growing and pivoting and being entrepreneurial minded. So I'm Terri S. Turner. I'm a partner at EnCorps Partners with my incredible partner, Robert Curlin. And yay, look who's here. She's on my mind. I have to talk to you, Renee. I'm so glad to see you. Yay.
Hey,
Anyway, at EnCorps Partners, we are everything small business. And when I say that, it's we do business strategy, we do marketing for the solopreneur, for small businesses, and we work on the bigger scale with municipalities and real estate people, and how they can make resources within a co-working facility or repurpose for flex facilities in order to serve small businesses. It's our passion, it's our love, and it's our expertise. And we really are hopeful and planning toward new and exciting ways to springboarding small businesses forward. So that's who I am. Renee, you get to go because you're like in the middle of my bingo board here.
Hi, everyone. It's good to see some familiar faces and some new faces. I'm Renee Reeves. I'm a freelance graphic designer based in Kansas City. I enjoy working with small to medium-sized businesses and helping them elevate their branding and come up with a more concise message for their branding.
So Renee, you popped on a little late. We also are adding, like, what's our hope, what's our plan, what's our future, as we're leaving the fear of the unknown into the planning of starting business again in our city.
I'm hoping that this will be a new venture for everyone to kind of see ways to think outside the box to provide for others, ways to connect with others. I've had so much fun just connecting with people all over the country and even outside of the country through Zoom. And I had no idea that this was a possibility for us. So the idea of being able to kind of make the world a little smaller and our connections a little longer as far as how far we can reach. That sounds just really exciting to me. Just kind of gives me a hope for just being able to reach a farther base of people and collaborate with people with different visions and different views than what we're used to here at home. So I'm just really excited about that.
Okay, Rebecca.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rebecca Graham. I am your friendly neighborhood chocolate lady and your favorite real estate agent, or at least one of them. And, you know, I have two businesses, and I'm very fortunate that they serve one another so well. But what I have noticed a lot over the last, 2 months as we've been going through this, Terry, like you were saying, is kind of like very quickly developing time, is that as we start to reopen, and it's going to be different everywhere you go, my hope is that people will have patience and be open-minded to, what's being put out there, and know that the people who are in charge of trying to safeguard the welfare of everybody have never done this before, and they're just doing the best they can with what they got, which is pretty much what we've been doing now as businesses, right? Doing the best we can with what we got. And for me, what I would like to see is all these people that have been, trapped inside their homes and away from their friends and family, are ready to, in moderation, start to gather again and reconnect on a more personal level. I love the fact that we have had Zoom as a way to stay in touch and almost feel like we're sitting in the same room with each other. But there's just something you can't get without a hug. You got to have the hug. You got to have the shake of a hand, that personal connection, and 6 feet even. I can at least see you, like, in person. There's something special to that. And my businesses both focus around people and bringing them together and finding them that slice of home that they can always call home, or that reconnection with family members. So I'm hopeful that what I'll see is, in small groups, less than 10 if need be, and I will not be gathering contact information unless they place an order. Um, people who want to reconnect in that small environment and finding new ways to do it. And also, all these folks that have been working on their homes for the last 2 months might start realizing, hey, I just added value. And maybe there is some real opportunities here to either make some money off the sale of my home, realizing upsizing, downsizing. That's what I want to do personally. So that's what I'm hopeful for, and not the potential downslide of people putting all their mortgages on forbearance, and what that's going to do to the economy later. I don't want to think about that. I have to.
Okay. Kate?
Kate Hodel, I'm at Casey SourceLink, and most people know, run a hotline and website, resources for entrepreneurs, connections to people that can help you take your business to the next level. As I was saying when we got started, the hotlines calmed down a little bit. I've been working with entrepreneurs for more years than I'd like to admit. And the 3 things that I really know about entrepreneurs is that they are optimistic, and that they are persistent and tenacious, and that they're really good at being responsive to the market. And I think that's what small businesses have that the bigger companies don't have, is that ability to turn, Rebecca, as you were saying, as people are evolving and coming out of this and have needs and have wants and have desires and have fears and have concerns. I think small businesses are in a great place of being able to respond to that tenor and tone in their processes, in the way that they do business, and in the way that they connect with their customers. And that's the thing I think we'll start to see coming out of this, is how do we do that, and how do we do it in a really way that connects with our customers. So it'll be fun to watch how it, I think, rolls out in the next, 6 to 8 weeks. And it'll take us 6 to 8 weeks at least, because it took us 6 to 8 weeks to get into this. So it'll take at least that long to, at least.
And that's just the plan. Then it's the execution that'll take forever. Jana, I know you hate being called on, but you have to do this because now you're on our little visiting thing.
Well, thank you. I'm Jana Castanon. I work for Principal Retirement Company. So I am not an entrepreneurial. I am under corporate America. And it has been kind of fascinating to see the process of how such a large company is able to shift their way of thinking. I am a retirement education educator. That made a lot of sense. But I go out and I provide education to participants at different corporations. So before or pre-COVID, 99% of my meetings were in-person group meetings or one-on-one meetings. So I really was out in the field. And for me, this shift has been going to all virtual, virtual webinars, virtual phone one-on-ones with people. And those people that know me know that I'm kind of really slow at picking up on technology. So this has been an opportunity for me to grow and enhancing some of those other skills that I did not have. Going forward, I do believe that, especially in my role, that because we do have the technology and it just seems to be that this is where conversations are going in the corporate world, is that a lot of meetings that were happening face-to-face, all types of meetings are now going to be a little bit more hands-off, a little bit more virtual. So again, as we're shifting to see how my role, especially within the company, is going to change. It's going to be rather interesting. And I do appreciate, Rebecca, when you were speaking about how society is going to change going forward. I believe so also. When we are meeting in those groups of 10 or less, or having that social distancing, I think the word that I'd like to use is tolerance. I'd like to see people be tolerant and respectful of other people's comfort levels. In fact, I was just having a conversation this morning with my son about even with his girlfriend's family, how the different tolerance levels of, family gatherings or the physical touch with other family members. Some of them are comfortable, some of them are not, but just to be respectful and tolerant of what those other people's levels are. Another thing I'd like to see going forward is, I know that within my family and my group of friends, I talk more to them on a daily basis. I have a daughter that lives in New York. I have a daughter that lives in San Francisco. And I'm a grandmother. My first granddaughter was born on March 17th. And so as a family, we're able to use these different technologies that are out there, the Zoom or the house party, and we're able to talk together as a family. So I am really excited to take that forward, so that I'm just not calling them one-on-one, but we're able to get together virtually together.
Hey, Christine. Okay, Vanessa. Thank you, Jana. Vanessa, welcome. Kind of missed what we had talked about earlier, but introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, and then what we're talking about is what are we, as the reopening and we're moving away from fear and sort of into a hope for the future. What are you doing in this transition? What are you hoping for? What are you planning for that is hopeful as we leave our homes and go back into the world with one another? So have at it.
We're just throwing you right in it, Vanessa.
Hey, friends.
How are you? Good to see you. Excuse us for a second, we're having a moment. We haven't seen each other in a long time.
How are you again?
Good. Go back and answer the question.
So yes, I am Vanessa Von West, and I am currently the Diversity and Inclusion Director for a local law firm, Lathrop GPM, formerly Lathrop Gage, here in the Kansas City market. In that role, I'm responsible for diversity strategy, programming, recruitment, retention activities, and overall inclusion and belonging. So obviously right now is a time where I'm really focused in on promoting that understanding. And I think, Junie, you were talking a little bit about tolerance. Another word that I will add to that conversation is empathy. So understanding that folks are facing many diverse circumstances and have lots that they are juggling, and having empathy for the different situations that everyone is in. And so I guess I'm hopeful that while we are seeing so much news about the impact of COVID-19 on the economy, and not just the health ramifications for Black and Brown community members, but also the employment numbers that are coming out now that show how this is disproportionately impacting those community members. I hope that we can continue to make the progress that we had begun in terms of equity and inclusion and diversity, understanding, and awareness, and that continues to move forward as we all recognize that we're in this together. It's going to take everyone working together, supporting each other in order to come out of this pandemic better and stronger.
Thank you. Wow. A lot packed into those few words. That was amazing. Christine, can you introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what you do, and what you're looking forward to as a sign of hope for the future? You know how to unmute you?
I do. Okay, hi there. I'm sorry I'm late coming to the table. I put it on, but I'm working from home too. So I'm Christine Garvey. I'm with Unity Temple on the Plaza. We have been working from home since March 19th. Not real sure what's going on. I don't think we're going to be back till the end of May. I didn't get to hear what Quentin Lucas had to say last night, so I guess I'll catch that later. What was the other part of this, Terry? You want to know what we're thinking?
Well, it's just that we talked about how the phases have gone so fast in the last month, from fear of the unknown, and then trying to hunker down and call the unknown normal. And now like this hope that, okay, we're going to go out, but we might go out differently. So just looking toward the future, what are your plans? What are you looking to do maybe a little differently? And that instills hope in as we move forward together.
Well, I would say that I'm sorry I missed some of the other people, but I think that I've gone through a variety of different feelings. I think that some days feel better than others. It is such a new, strange normal right now. My husband has health challenges, so I've really not been getting out much at all, trying to make sure that I don't, bring something home. As far as what the future holds, we're trying to figure that out. We'll have some new guidelines. We hope to open the doors at the temple. We hope to still have our jobs. And, I just was talking to one of my people that does a graduation ceremony every year at Unity, wondering, how can we make that happen? We might have to, not only use the sanctuary, but we might have to use the other chapel, and we might have to use Unity Hall, because it just depends what social distancing is. You guys, it's just, to me, there are times where I really wonder, is this happening? Are we here?
Exactly.
Am I in this world? Am I living? It's just, one of those things, but holding on like everybody else. And, I started a thing. I have a women's group that meets once a month. We met virtually this week, and I gave them the Bruce Lipton Challenge, which is every day at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. You stop, you hold the world in your consciousness and your prayers and your thoughts, and you see things healing and you see things going the right way, because we know together we can make a difference. So that's my challenge to my women for the next 30 days, and keeping a journal and just hoping for the high watch.
I like that challenge.
I'll send you the link if you'd like. It's a great video. It's just really about the consciousness. You know, it's all about us all holding the high watch.
If you would put that in the chat, and then we'll share it with everyone.
Okay, I'll have to try to find that for you. I'm not the best at Zoom. I'm learning.
Oh, good. Well, Kate Hodel can teach you. She knows all the secrets.
Ah.
Okay, thanks, Christine.
Thank
Rich, you want to unmute? I think Rich is called in. Rich? Well, we're glad that you're here. While you're figuring out how to unmute, I'll let Robert talk.
I knew you were going to do that to me. Hey, I don't know. I really don't have anything prepared. I'm Robert Curlin, Terri's business partner at EnCorps Partners and co-work KCI. I guess what comes to mind for me right now is that our business is to help businesses grow. And I'm really interested to see what happens when this whole thing is over, because it's going to be more intense. It's not just everybody trying to get that next customer, but they're, I hate to say it, people are going to be fighting for their lives, for their business lives, coming out of this. And I sometimes wonder if, I question myself if I'm up for the task. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff out there, and it's just Terri and I. We have to not only grow our own business, but we have to help other people grow their businesses. And so it's going to be an interesting challenge when we're looking forward to. One other thing is for me is that we've been going through this distancing, shut up in the house, thinking, okay, we're getting ready to open. And also, now it's like, we're going to be opening. And I don't know if everybody knows this on this call, but we opened and closed on the same day. We had a ribbon cutting, and an hour later we shut our doors. And so that was a little difficult for us, but now it's getting real again, and we're very excited about the opportunities, and hope you'll come visit us sometime.
Okay, so welcome everyone. As we said earlier, our original inspirational moment from Lori Duggar. I'm doing what I always do whenever we have any kind of networking and a speaker falls through or whatever. I'm going to stand in. So all of us have been talking about, okay, business is moving forward and it's happening. And so I'm going to give you 3 P's to think about of what you might be framing as you're getting ready to expand your businesses, meaning that you take from what you had before and make it a little new. And then I'm going to give you a business development challenge. So the first P is policy. And it's really interesting because as a marketer, we look to our operational people to do the policies. And we're all about the plan and then how do you execute on the plan. And we don't really look at the policy. But in this time and age, whether you're working from home, whether you're a team, or whether you're larger, I would recommend that you look at what do the policies look like for me in the next, what is the framework? What are my policies in order to have a safe, welcoming environment for me, for our visitors, for our staff, and for our members if you have members. So along those lines, I think that our mayor, Quentin Lucas, did an amazing job of taking something that was out in the universe and putting it into a policy. And let me explain as an example of how you can think about what your policies are for a safe environment for everyone. Many other whether it's a county or a city or whatever, they've come up with whatever their plan is, and they all have names and cute little whatevers. But one of the things that Quentin Lucas said is anybody who's going to be there for 10 minutes or more needs to sign in. And that struck me as a very creative yet practical policy. And here's why. Not only is it going to make for contact tracing easier, but it's also going to tamp down on the fear. So for example, I'm somewhere or somebody comes to our facility, we've signed them in and we have their contact information, and we hear 10 days down the road that they're sick, and then we need to trace that. Not only does it make it easier for the health and wellness of the people in our facility and our community, but it also takes off the fear because we can do something about it. So what policies can you put in place that would help tamp down fear, would tamp down gossip, would give you a known to give a comfort to those who are coming to you or who are within your environment? So think about what those policies might be. Robert and I have looked at our physical location and what we're doing as far as our policies. We thought about, at first we might have one-ways, because you look around and where do you get ideas? Well, many of the grocery stores now have one-way aisles. But then we realized our hallways are 9 feet apart, so we're safe. So we don't have to have a one-way, but we are going to direct traffic through one door so that we can monitor it. Our collaboration areas, you know, what were we going to do with them? Well, we're only going to allow one person on a sofa, and we've measured them, and they are a minimum of 6 feet apart. We're going to make available, how can we make it easier? If I walk in and I'm uncomfortable and I forgot my mask, we'll have masks available. We're going to have disinfectants available. So it's those kinds of policies that, if you can think in the bigger frame, how do I make this comfortable and secure and less fear because there might be a follow-up? So that's one P. The second P is your products. So we all love whatever our products are. We're in love with our babies, right? But what product can you use within your environment that will welcome other people? So if you talk about co-working, I'll give you the example. Our product is space, really, right? So we have these offices and they come in different forms, small, medium, large, and this, that, and the other thing. But looking at the environment, we need a product. What about all those students who now have to do online learning and they're tired at home? You know, what if, and we know we have spare offices. So what if we have offices available by the week for people who are learning? There are job seekers out there. They need a place where they're comfortable to do interviews. We're going to have a product for that. We're going to offer something so people can use our space where it's comfortable, where it's safe, and where they too can move their lives forward. So how can you look at what you do and offer it within the circumstance of what's going on? And if you need brainstorming, Robert and I are always available to help you brainstorm, because that's what we love to do, and that's part of what we give away as building up businesses. But think about your product and how can you offer what you offer and offer something else that meets the needs of what's going on in our community right now. And then the third P is past. Okay, so as I said earlier in this conversation, I would like us, I mean, just in my mind, because I'm a word geek, I don't want to talk about a new normal, because to me, the new normal says we've put a door on the past and everything's new. And I think that the past can inform the future. So let me give you an example. I was working with a client who, let me see how I was going to frame this example. Okay, well, it's gone. That's just 63-year-old brain. It'll come back to me, but I had an example. But there are truisms about the way things happened in the past that we do in the future. I can give you an example. market. This is the one I was going to, but it came to mind. David Ogilvy, who is the guru of marketing and messaging, his standard messaging and that you have to speak to the customer in something that resonates with them. He wrote a whole thing about marketing and messaging in the 1940s. His standard from the past in the 1940s is relevant today. The only difference is our delivery method of the message is different. We don't only use print, because then after print came television, and after television came broadcast, then television. Well, now we have internet, and then we have social media, and our delivery method is different, but the past still informs that the message should speak to the buyer. So what's happened in the past in your business that might have a different delivery method, or it might look a little different, but the basic nugget of what worked before will still work. So policy, products, and past. In thinking about that, as you're developing that and moving forward, I'd like to give you this challenge in developing your business. So, number one, tomorrow on Friday, I'd like you to wake up and I'd like you to spend 1 hour making a list of all the people you've worked with in the last year. Someone will be your current clients or current people you're interfacing, but go back a year. And I want you to reach out to them. I want you to just reach out to them, if it's from a text, a phone call, an email, however you want to reach out to them. Reach out to them. Hey, how are you doing? I've been thinking about you. You know, in this time of everyone reconnecting differently, I just wanted to reach out. If you ever feel like talking or, want to brainstorm business, I'm here for you. That's it. Just reach out to them. Then on Monday, I'd like you to spend an hour. This is a 4-hour challenge, 4 days for 1 hour a day. Looking at everyone you have served in the past 5 years. We know that business comes from current clients and then from those who know you, past clients. Make a list of all those past clients and reach out to them. Hey, I know we haven't connected in a while. Just curious, what are you up to and how's your business going? Thinking of you, and sign it. Reach out to the past clients. Then on Tuesday, I challenge you for an hour. That's it, just an hour a day on business development. Make a list of your referral sources. Who knows you and who's referred you? And if you can't remember who they are, go through your Facebook list of contacts, go through your LinkedIn list of contacts, go through your email contacts. You are going to be amazed at the people who pop up and you go, oh my gosh, I used to have so much fun with so-and-so and we worked together, whatever. Reach out to them. Same message, just reach out. And then the 4th day, an hour of business development. Look at your social media. Can you use your social media? I personally think that email is a form of social media, but most people wouldn't agree with me. So whether it's Twitter or whatever, can you put a message out in social media that says, I am here to serve in this area, love to hear from you. So use social media as a megaphone for the work that you did the first 3 days. So my challenge to you is 4 hours of business development activity. Day 1, current clients, past year. Day 2, past clients, 5 years. Day 3, referral sources, look at all your lists. And day 4, what message can you put out that complements those first 3 days on social media just to get engagement? That's all I got for you. Anybody want to feel free to open your mics and comment or add to, or anything else that you would like to pitch in before we conclude today.
I thought that was great, Terri. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
No, it was really good information. Great. I will say this too, if you guys don't mind. Today was kind of an off day. So I'm glad I tuned in because you just inspired me. I'd let you see me, but I look like hell. I don't have any makeup on and I have on a shirt that's all messed up.
I so believe that if we can inspire one another, we can grow together. I think inspiration is a lot of we're in this together.
Christine, you reminded me that one of the things I think I've loved most about Zoom is that we've gotten to see sort of people in their real environments. I've seen more people's houses.
Yes.
I've seen more people with their hair up in funny, messy ponytails and side ponytails and in sweatshirts and people being very real. And I have loved that. It's like we've sort of said, you know, that outer trapping really doesn't matter all that much.
Yes.
What really matters is who we are and what we bring to the table. And I think I have really appreciated that and really sort of seeing somebody in their own, and you see the pictures in the background and you see their family, you see their dog coming in and their kid comes in and climbs up in their lap and it just feels like real people. I've so enjoyed that. So I'm going to change my background so you can actually see the little loft I sit in. So, you know, I'll be real too.
Hey, Kate, how do we keep that going? I mean, I agree with you. I love the realness. How do we keep that?
I think we just bring our own realness to every meeting we're in. I think that.
You know what I mean? There's my realness.
Oh, I see. God. That doesn't look bad at all, Christine. That is not, you should see my hair before I shower. That is not bad at all. No, I think it just comes to the being who we are when we're in the room and being, and letting other people be who they are. But yeah, I just throw that out there. So yeah,
I think it's a great point, Kate. And I think that's one thing that we've learned. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what your position is. What matters, what's in your heart and how you can share that with yourself and others. And that's really what this world is about. The one key message is love. So, I think you're right. It has made us all realize we are in this together. We do need each other and we will come through it if we can do that.
The best thing about this call is for me is I have two people on here already I've reconnected with. I'm done. Christine and Vanessa, I'm done. I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Go, Rebecca.
Well, I just wanted to add that, long-lasting business is built on genuine relationships. And I think very often, at least in the past, there's this air of perception. You want people to perceive you as super professional, that you're an expert, top of your game, and that you just don't have down days. You're up all the time, everything is great. And when the reality is, a lot of people, really brave people, put on a brave face and trudge through their day suffering on the inside because they're trying to maintain that air of professionalism. And right now, I look forward to the days when I have Zoom calls because I'm like, I'm going to take a shower today. because quite honestly, it's like, why would I otherwise? But it takes everybody and kind of puts them on an even keel. No one person is better than another because what house they have in their background is bigger and better. They're stuck at home too, and that's their home. That nobody here is above what is going on. So the genuineness that comes out of connections like this with the messy buns and the business on the top, pajamas on the bottom, or working outside is I think allowing people to drop their walls a little bit.
Wouldn't it be amazing if historians looked at this time and said that COVID-19 became the equalizer for all people?
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, any other comments? Well, thank you all for your time. Yes, Robert, did you want to say something?
I'll unmute myself. I don't know if you're going to throw it to me or not, but again, this is every other week. So it's not next week, but it's the following weekend. Hopefully maybe Lori can join us then to give her advice on financial stuff. But I just want to throw that out before you close. That's